Welcome to the Bahamas, and welcome back to the road to French Lick. Welcome once again to the road to French Lick. It's our second season, and we are here in the Bahamas for the season opener here at Atlantis Paradise Island. We'll be playing in the Pro-Am here ahead of the tournament. I'm here with my co-host Brendan Sweeney. And Brendan, year two for the road to French Lick. We're the Alpha. Then we go to the Omega at French Lick at the end of the year. Excitement for the start of the year.
Yeah, currently there's 18 inches of snow in French Lick, Indiana, and you look behind us right now. It's nothing but sunshine and waves, baby. It's awesome. What a great, fantastic place this is. It's the people are just amazing. The vibe is cool. There's so much excitement in the air with all the players. It's a new chapter. It's a new book, and there's going to be stories that are to be written. It's a whole new ball game on the Korn Ferry Tour. You know, at French Lick last year, we had 30 guys getting their cards. Now it goes down to 20. The fields are reducing. The players are getting more competitive, and they have to go full throttle right here. Starting from the start here, 2 weeks in the Bahamas. They head down South America, Central America after that. They head back to the States coming up at the end of February.
Yeah, you have 5 tournaments, 6 tournaments outside of the United States that start the season, and before you know it, we're a quarter of the way towards French Lick. So you've got to make your hay pretty early here in the year. You mentioned the vibe earlier. It does kind of feel like a first day of school kind of thing.
Yeah.
People are excited. It's a new page to turn in the book. And you've got an interesting mix here of a lot of guys who have played on the PGA Tour for years, who are down here trying to make hay early in the year, maybe get themselves one of those 20 cards. A lot of young guys who came through Q school or for other opportunities.
PGAU?
Yep, PGAU as well, trying to get out here and make a statement pretty early. So it is a very interesting mixing bowl of players.
Yeah, we're going to have some exciting guests coming up this year, especially today and throughout the year. So keep us tuned in to the road to French Lick, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
For the season opener, we're at the Ocean Club Golf Course at the Atlantis Resort on Paradise Island. This is a par 70 golf course where the players on the Korn Ferry Tour, but normally plays as a par 72. It opened in January 2001 and was designed by the late, great Tom Weiskopf. The course has incredible views of the Bahamian coastline. It makes it a spectacular and challenging course with ocean in play, with water in play, with mangrove in play, with a variety of different challenges, but is open enough for the average person to play and is accessible for Korn Ferry Tour players and high-level professionals to be able to score well. The best defense of this golf course is the wind, and if it doesn't show up, then players are able to score pretty easily.
We're here in the Bahamas. What a tough place to be, especially talking from a guy from Syracuse, New York. Let's meet Dan McCarthy. Dan, thanks for taking the time not only to play with us today, but to put up with our shenanigans.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for supporting the tournament.
Yeah. And so you've been out here a long time, about 18 years on tour. How do you approach the 2025 season? What are some of your goals and objectives?
It's the same as every year, is to finish top 20 and get the PGA Tour card. But I just need to get better at doing what I do and what my game is, and making a few more putts.
How important is it you have 2 weeks in the Bahamas and you head to South America. So the next basically 5 weeks you guys are out of the country. I mean, how do you grasp that? How do you approach that?
I've been out here a while, so I've got it down pretty good, my routine. But it's tough for new guys, learning to travel internationally. There's just kind of a lot of moving parts that go into it. But, fortunately I've been doing this a while, so I kind of got all that figured out for the most part. But just book your stuff early and give yourself plenty of time to get there, because there's bound to be some sort of snag in the travel at some point.
Yeah, you got it right.
While you're doing this. So
I tell you what, if you look behind us right now, it's just absolutely gorgeous. What do you have to say to the people in Syracuse right now?
I'm very sorry about all that white stuff on the ground up there. We're here on Paradise Island, as a matter of fact. So, stay patient. It'll get warm soon.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to a great year with you, man. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Pat, Pro-Am Day, once again. I mean, how does a professional like yourself gear up towards a Pro-Am, and what do you expect on amateurs, basically?
Just mostly have a good time. I mean, that's kind of what it's about. You guys come here to have a good time, and we try to give tips here and there and good reads and stuff, but just trying to make the experience good for you guys.
Got it. With the kickoff in the Bahamas this week, next week, then heading down to South America, how important is it for a Korn Ferry Tour player just to grab traction as quickly as possible to get your points?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a long season. You can get your points, anywhere in that season, but it definitely helps to get off to a hot start. These tournaments are, a lot of them are good courses, and a lot of them tend to be kind of higher scoring. So if you can if you can just golf your ball, you can get some good finishes pretty quickly.
What are your goals and expectations for 25?
Obviously, I think everyone has that PGA Tour card goal,
Right.
so that kind of goes unsaid. But just keep getting better. I feel like I've done a good job of getting better every year that I've played, and if we just keep doing that, eventually it'll be good enough. So just keep getting better, and obviously that top 20 at the end of the year is pretty much the main goal for everyone.
Going back to University of North Carolina, Wilmington, best nickname for one of your teammates?
Best nickname.
You got a Stinky or anybody like that?
Nothing that good. No, my best friend's name is Thomas Lilly, and we call him Tilly.
Oh.
And it's pretty boring, but that's the best one.
Well, over with Patrick, he's doing a great job. Looking forward to a great year. Hopefully not seeing him in French Lick that he can get past it, but in case you do, we'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
Have a great year.
Looking
Thank you.
forward to it. Thank you.
After all the first day of school hype and the pre-tournament preparations, the tournament itself was very compelling. Going to a playoff after 72 holes were not enough to decide the tournament. Hank Lebioda and S.H. Kim wound up going into that playoff after finishing 72 holes of regulation tied on 18 under 262, and they found themselves replaying the 18th hole, placed 483 yards typically into the wind, making it a challenging finishing hole for any player. And in that extra frame, Lebioda hit one of the best shots of his entire career on the approach shot 218, hitting it to about a foot, leaving himself what effectively was a tap-in winning birdie when S.H. Kim's birdie bid from about 30 feet was unsuccessful. So in the end, Lebioda wins the first event of the year. He wins $180,000 from the $1 million purse. More importantly, he wins 500 Korn Ferry Tour points, which sets him atop the points list at the outset of the year. Based on what we know about prior years of the Korn Ferry Tour and the cutoff to earn a PGA Tour card, we have projections that suggest approximately 1,000 points would be needed for a player to assure themselves a PGA Tour card for 2026 through the top 20 on the Korn Ferry Tour points list. That gets Lebioda halfway there out the gate. This is also a really monumental win for Lebioda, who is the last player to earn full Korn Ferry Tour status for this season as a result of last season's points list. He was the 75th player and final player into the Korn Ferry Tour championship field last year. He earned that by getting through the Columbus event in the prior event, the last event before the Korn Ferry Tour championship. And at the time, he had to sweat it out in the final hours of the tournament to find out whether he would have an opportunity to have a full Korn Ferry Tour card for next year and also an opportunity to play in the Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance. We take you back to that wait after that round in Columbus in the final round last year at The Ohio State University.
And were you out there like on the last hole? Are you thinking any putt like could be the difference? Or
Yes.
And
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. And I did my best not to look at scoreboards all day, so I don't know where I was out there. I knew what I had an idea in my head, what I wanted to shoot. Wasn't able to shoot that. So now it's just waiting game.
were you aware of like you, Cooper, and Jack were all separated
Yes.
by like a point?
Yeah.
And did like when you finish, are you like the rest of the day? Like what's your plan? Are you going to follow it? Or are you going to turn?
I have no idea. I'll follow it. I have no self-control. I'll have to look at it. Probably age about 15 years looking at it. But honestly, nothing you could do now. I left it out there on the course. Not my best, but it is what it is. Posted a number, and hopefully that'll be enough to withstand and get me onto Indiana.
Are there any experiences this compares to kind of in golf or life?
Yeah, kind of going the other way. I finished 25th on the points list or money list in, was it 2018? And I didn't have nearly as long of a wait. And I think the stakes were probably a little bit higher moving up to the PGA Tour, me versus Kevin Doherty. Yeah, I had my family there. I was 23 years old. I was young. I didn't know any better. So this knowing what's at stake and knowing kind of how the day could shake out, or who knows what it could be, and it's probably going to be a little bit harder, a little bit longer than last time.
With his win in the Bahamas Golf Classic at Atlantis Paradise Island, Hank Lebioda picks up 500 Korn Ferry Tour points, which is the standard amount for a win throughout the course of the season. He He leads the points list with the top 20 players at the end of the Korn Ferry Tour season, earning PGA Tour cards for 2026. S.H. Kim, the playoff runner-up, earned 300 points for the week to put him in second position. Number 3 on the points list is Davis Shore, PGA Tour America's graduate, who has 190 points. Austin Smotherman is in 4th place on the points list at 135 points. And Emilio Gonzalez is 5th on the points list at 110 points. Kicking off the season at the Bahamas was a great opportunity to be able to speak with Alex Baldwin, who is the president of the Korn Ferry Tour. She spoke with our Brendan Sweeney about the excitement around the season and starting the year once again in the Bahamas.
We're here with Alex Baldwin, our commissioner of the Korn Ferry Tour. Thank you so much for having us down here in the Bahamas. What a beautiful venue we have. What does it mean to come to the islands and kick off a wonderful 2025 season?
Oh, it's an exciting year. 2025, we're kicking off in this amazing setting in the Bahamas. Our hosts here at Atlantis are just so warm, welcoming. We've got our 26 tournaments. We are looking forward to just a great season. We're welcoming some new golf courses, some new tournaments. We will be playing at the Jockey Club in Argentina. I believe it was the last course that Alistair McKenzie designed before Augusta. So just a really cool kind of bit of trivia. We're going to Tulum. We'll be playing at PGA Riviera Maya, so we're adding Mexico to the schedule. And, you know, obviously looking forward to the culmination at the French Lake Resort of our Korn Ferry Tour Championship, presented by United Leasing and Finance. And we'll be culminating the season with 20 PGA Tour cards and sending those members off to the PGA Tour for the 2026 season.
Cool. Well, the road to French Lake starts here in the Bahamas. We look forward to a wonderful year, Alex. We thank you for your support and your hospitality and your friendship. We're looking for a great year.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We also spoke with Angelica Cartwright from the Bahamian Tourism Board about the opportunity for the Bahamas to host not only the first event of the year at Atlantis, but also the second event of the year in another Sunday through Wednesday tournament at Great Abaco Island.
We're here with Angelica Cartwright from Bahama Tourism. Welcome to the Road to French Lick. What does this mean to have the Korn Ferry Championship coming to Atlantis?
Oh, it's so wonderful to have an event like this, of this caliber, to showcase our beautiful island, obviously, and to have 144 golfers come down. You know, we're a very small country. Our islands are very small. This island alone, New Providence, is the capital. It's only 7 by 21 miles. But we pack a big punch in this country, and we want to show that we can host a myriad of sporting events in the Bahamas. And we're so happy that golfers get to golf on this beautiful golf course with the backdrop of the ocean. You know, it's just about showing our hospitality and showing everything that we have to offer. So it's great.
Well, the hospitality has been second to none, and the people have been absolutely fabulous. If you have a chance to come down to the Bahamas, you have to come to New Providence. We really appreciate your hospitality. We look forward to a wonderful week of golf, not only this week, but next week at Atlantis.
Thank you.
Back here on the mainland of the United States, Brendan Sweeney's with me. We had a great time being at the Bahamas for the first event on the Korn Ferry Tour schedule. First, let's talk about the experience there. We had the opportunity to play in the Pro-Am with a couple of great players in Patrick Cover and Dan McCarthy. For people who have never played in a Pro-Am, whether it's for the Korn Ferry Tour or any other tour, can you kind of describe how fun the experience is and what it's like for folks to get to be able to play in that?
It's top notch. I mean, it really is a great way for the tournament directors and the facility to show off what they have to offer, not only to the players but to the supporters and sponsors of the people around them. But we had a wonderfully super time. The food was fabulous. The hospitality was outstanding. The Bahamian people really embraced the mainlanders. I mean, tourism is their primary source of revenue, so they know how to entertain, and they did a great job. Just from the time we showed up to the Ocean Golf Course, was nothing but first class. Brooks and his team with BB Productions, who were the tournament directors, did a top-notch job. Food was fabulous. Got some killer tea gifts, but not only that, we got paired up with a father-son couple out of Luke and Barry out of Texas. And they were there, and they're on a vacation. It was the first time they played in a Pro-Am. They had a wonderful time. Patrick and Dan were amazing hosts. We switched pros at the turn, which is a cool way to do it. So it gives the pros, an opportunity to interact with the players and get to play a 9-hole event. but it gave us a good thing. And the rhythm was great. It was really lighthearted, and the views of that golf course was just spectacular. And if you look at, we can probably pop up the video at French Lick of what it looked like last week with 18 inches of snow at the Pete Dye golf course. Buffalo, New York, where McCarthy's from, or Syracuse, I should say, under snow, and we're standing on the bay and overlooking the Atlantic Ocean with nothing but beautiful, pristine blue water. So it was cool. It was top notch. Afterwards, had a killer party afterwards, sponsor party where Brooks and his team thanked all the sponsors and all the players were there. Ran into some really fabulous guys who I haven't seen in a long time. Bo Van Pelt, Indiana guy from Richmond, Indiana. Haven't seen him in years. I'm like, what do you do? I thought you were on a senior tour, but he's 49, and there's an exemption for old guys that get on the Korn Ferry Tour, so he took advantage of that. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
Really great catching up with him, and really had a wonderfully nice time.
Before we talk about the tournament results, I also want to give just a quick shout out to everyone involved in Atlantis. I've never been to the property.
Yeah,
it was a fantastic place, tremendous hosts, and specifically I want to give a shout out to the golf staff at the Ocean Club.
Robbie and his team, yeah.
Yeah, Robbie and his team. I mean, they put this thing together in 4 months. They got a phone call. They said yes. They put this thing together, got it in great shape, and they really welcomed the opportunity to have this tournament almost kind of out of nowhere, but made it look fabulous.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, for the time we showed up, the time we left, and then having the opportunity to fly home. I live in Orlando full time. It was 51 minutes, wheels up to wheels down to get to Orlando. But coming home and then flipping on Golf Channel and having to be able to watch the championship for, it was a Sunday to Wednesday finish. And I personally enjoy it. I think it's great. I think it's a great exposure for the Korn Ferry Tour to get in front of eyeballs. You're not competing with football. You're not competing with the PGA Tour. You're not competing with the LPGA. Just to go out there to have the Wednesday finish in prime time basically was outstanding. And hats off to Hank Lebioda. What a great finish he had.
Yeah, Hank Lebioda wins his first Korn Ferry Tour event. He was the last guy into the Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance last year. He was sweating bullets in Columbus to know whether he was going to get in, whether he had status for next year guaranteed. He did wind up getting it. Played pretty well the week of, and now first tournament out the gate in 25 is a winner and gets himself obviously to the top of the points list, which with 20 slots this year makes it all the more critical to get off to a hot start.
He's on his way, and if he cranks it out, PGA Tour, here he come.
Yeah, and a shout out to S.H. Kim as well. Came off the PGA Tour, had a card for a number of years, came down. He had the right attitude coming in. I saw him on the Pro-Am on Saturday. He carried himself like a guy who wanted to get right back to the PGA Tour, and while he didn't wind up victorious, gives himself that good hot start, gives himself motivation to kind of stick with this tour depending on his opportunities with the PGA Tour this season, and he could potentially be somebody that finds himself right back in the PGA Tour mix next year.
But the field was loaded. I mean,
yeah.
Cameron Champ. We ran into Jeff Overton, who, has $17 million in career winnings. I mean, he was out on a medical. He's trying to come back. But it was really good to see folks that we ran into last year, who we interviewed on the show last year. We're starting to become more familiar with the guys. Tyler Duncan, Joe Weiler, French Lick Resort. We just signed him up. There's going to be a press release coming out that we got their bags for this season. So looking forward to working with those guys. So, it's neat. It's cool, and we're looking forward to a great year, not only with the Korn Ferry event, but the Road to French Lick.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see a lot more loaded fields like this. Basically, 50 PGA Tour wins accounted for among the 144 players in this field. And with the changes coming to the PGA Tour for next year in terms of membership, being in the top 100 in FedEx Cup points at the end of the fall, it's going to get tougher. There's going to be players who are going to look for multiple pathways to try to find a way to a PGA Tour card for 26 and beyond. And the beneficiary could very well be the Korn Ferry Tour. So excited to see what happens. Obviously, we get the Alpha here this week at Atlantis. Then we make our way to the Omega in the end at French Lick. We start this 26 tournament journey once again. Can't wait to do it all over again with you. It's going to be a great year.
1 down, 25 to go, man. That's it. So we look forward to a great year, not only with you and I doing this show, but bringing in new people, meeting new faces, and going to new places.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So stay tuned, and Brendan, we appreciate it. Thanks. As we start once again on the road to French Lick, we want to take you to the French Lick Resort and give you a preview of the golf course that the players are going to play in the Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance. We start the first 2 holes on the die course at French Lick with the challenging par 4 first and the compelling par 4 second. Here's Will Haskett with more.
Your journey around one of Pete Dye's greatest works begins here. The key to enjoying the Pete Dye course at French Lick is to select the set of tees that best suits your game. We recommend that no one attempt the gold tees unless your handicap is 5 or less. Black tees a handicap of 10 or less. Blue tees 15 or less, and white tees handicaps of 25 or less. All others we encourage play from the forward tees. This opening hole requires a right center tee shot just inside the 3 large fairway bunkers. Proper approach shot favors the right side of the green, where there is plenty of bailout area. Hole number 2 is one of the short par 4s on the course. It's lined with Pete Dye's volcano bunkers up the right-hand side. The fairway becomes very narrow at 300 yards from the black tees, but that does allow the long hitter the option to try and cut the corner, but at a risk of having an awkward lie and stance coming up for his short approach. Target again here at the second green is the right center of the putting surface.
That'll do it for us on this first episode of Season 2 of The Road to French Lick. We hope you'll stay with us throughout the 2025 Korn Ferry Tour season. We should have about 20 episodes for you covering the 26 tournament slate, which concludes with the Korn Ferry Tour Championship presented by United Leasing and Finance, held at the French Lick Resort of the Pete Dye course once again this year. For Brendan Sweeney, for everyone at the French Lick Resort, I'm Ryan Ballengee, and for everyone at Golf News Net, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time on The Road to French Lick.